Watch you throw the ball, we gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through fourth and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Dive.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to another episode of Trap or Dive Podcast. I am your host of the Trap or Dive Podcast, Mual and Dre is in here. This is a Washington Commanders post-game recap. Washington gets the dub on the road, 29-21 to the New York Giants. Battle of the who's the most terriblest. Before we get into the show, man, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're on the YouTube side of things, audio side, appreciate you checking in. Make sure you hit that follow button and rate and review if you can, man. It takes 10 seconds to do so, and it's free to show your support that away. Amani in the chat, what's up? Monty in the chat, Anthony in the chat, what's up? And everybody else that is just watching, appreciate y'all watching live. 4-10 is better than 3-11, I guess. I guess it depends on how you look at it, because there was some open rooters for the Tankathon. So if you are in that boat, I am sorry. Not to say that I'm one way or another, I'm impartial, but I know what this loss for the New York Giants meant for some Washington Commanders fans. Anyway, how you feeling, Dre? I'll leave it there. I know how we're both feeling. This was one of the longest games ever for a game that you wanted to end as quickly as possible, in a season that you wanted to end as quickly as possible. But how you feeling, bro?
Honestly, I was on that Tank train, bro. And this is the first game I can honestly say I had jumped on the Tank train. And then every fucking thing went right today. Like everything. Mikey Sanders still looked good out there. He's making plays. Fucking Jalen Lane reminds you he's good again. Bill almost had a 100-yard performance. I heard Frankie Louvu's name today. Von Miller was wrecking havoc. Like so many things were just going right today that we hadn't seen all season. And it was, for me, I'm like, I was still looking for those wins the last couple of weeks. Where was this a couple of weeks ago? I mean, I understand you're playing the Giants, Jackson Dart, yada, yada, yada. But they come out there and they had a performance today, at least to the extent of guys you wanted to see go out there and perform. They performed well. I mean, but at the end of the day, you can't be too mad at a loss. At a win, they needed one at this point. And it's the Giants. It's always good to beat your divisional opponent and kind of keep that streak going. What is this, 4 straight games over the Giants? But, yeah. I mean, all in all, man, Dan Quinn probably needed this because, people are talking about firing him and getting rid of him at the season if he goes on, would have been 14, 13 straight losses, whatever it would have been. That wouldn't have been a good look for him. So, from that standpoint, it's good for those guys. And, I don't know if I see another win for the rest of the season, but at least you got something right there to carry you on. But like I said, it's good to see some of those guys that you wanted to see look good. Even Ben Simmons had a catch today. He had a long catch. It was one catch, but Ben Simmons' name came up on the scoreboard today. So
that helps. That helps some of the people who are like, we don't need a tight end if we give Ben a chance. So I mean, it depends on how you look at things. I'm with you in terms of just the overall nature of some people stepping up. Chris Rodriguez was announced out pre-game, so like it came down to a game time decision, I believe, with him. And obviously, as he came in, as he went out, Bill came in and totaled 18 carries, 96 yards, and a touchdown. Marcus Mariota, 10 of 19 for 211 and a touchdown, and 43 yards on the ground. One inexplicable fumble. Him and Jeremy McNichols.
He's good for that once a game, isn't he? That stupid shit.
Like, I don't understand, bro. Like, he's like Mr. Do Too Much. That's why I actually said, like, if you're in the grass, you're in the grass. Like, I know exactly what he was doing. He was trying to throw the ball to the receiver on the sideline so he can avoid the sack. But I'm like, bro, you're in the grass. Like, it's some plays you just understand it's over. And for a person who's been in the league for 10 years, you know better. So it's a little frustrating sometimes saying that. And overall, outside of that, he had a relatively solid day. Have 200 yards on 10 completions just shows you like you were pushing the ball down the field. Terry McLaurin had himself a 50-yard touchdown, 3 catches, 69 yards. I think offensively, when you're able to move the ball effectively as you did, it just kind of is, what's the word? I don't know the exact word that I'm thinking of, y'all, but like it's painful to know like what could have been in a season of so many inconsistencies and so much like just bad timing, like injuries and all the other things that's just taking place. You're unable to get things done. Granted, I want to acknowledge too, because we're talking about a game where the Commanders put up 29 on the 2-12 Giants. So I'm not naive to the fact of the opponent, but sometimes you don't even get those days against this season you don't even get those days for real. So Noah Brown, he had a catch for 28 yards, and that was his
Noah Brown things after that.
That was his performance for the season. He went out with a back injury.
Then they said it was a rib injury later on.
They said it was a rib injury? Okay.
They said back first, then rib. So who knows? It could be both for him.
Yeah, man. I don't know, bro. Like, I think if that ought to tell you who Washington should take serious in that receiving core. It's like put Treylon Burks out there and just move forward. Like, Noah Brown can come in situations, put him at the H-back, move him around a little bit. You ain't even got to target him, because he gets hurt when you throw him the ball. just let him block. That's all you got to do. Let him block, bro. Don't throw him the ball at all. But yeah, bro, I think that's where we are offensively. I don't know how do you feel about Bill? So I wanted to go to the defense right quick, but I just thought about it. Like, how do you feel about Bill and just like his potential in this offense? Like, you got 3 games left. 96 yards is encouraging, but that's why I preface, like, we're talking about the New York Giants. They do have one of the league's worst defenses. But like that ability still shows itself here and there. So how are you feeling about Bill?
Well, Bill had that what we thought was a breakout game against the Chargers. And then after that, you didn't see Bill, kind of show any of those flashes that you had kind of seen from their training camp and so forth. So you started wondering, you had people calling him a Jag and everything. One of our favorite listeners, Jay Tyler, likes to call him Jag Krosky Merritt. But I thought that he looked better. I thought he looked better in the role that he had been in when Chris Rodriguez was the lead back. Because in my opinion, I thought he kind of looked good whenever the times he did come in. He looked like he had that burst, and he looked like he was playing better when he wasn't the feature guy, when he can kind of be more the change of pace guy. So to me, I started thinking maybe that's kind of Bill's role in this league. Maybe that'll be what he is in this league going forward, is a change of pace guy and not your kind of lead back. Now, it's hard to he had a great game today. I thought every time he touched the ball, he had a burst. I mean, he did have a fumble. Josh Connolly had 2 fumble recoveries today, so he actually saved them there. But it's hard to take much from this game because we do know the Giants have a bad run defense. But at the same time, you can't knock Bill because he went out there and did what you wanted him to do. He looked good. He looked like he had a burst every time, and he still has that dangerous cut ability. And part of me wonders how much the actual play calling has helped him look good because Cliff ran in more traditional sets today than I've seen them do all season. And the offensive line looks like that's their strength. Like, this is what we can do. We get after it in the run game. And the holes were there. Like the touchdown that Bill had. He made that one cut. Boom, he's gone. And you got to wonder if you see this type of play caller from Cliff going forward, if you start to see Bill show more consistency, because right now you can't take much from it because the consistency as a lead back just hasn't been there. Now, I don't know how long Chris Rodriguez is going to be out to allow Bill to kind of show this, but either way, I think Bill, for at least the last 2 to 3 weeks, I want to say, he's made the most of his opportunities. Like when he's come in a game, he's made the most of his opportunities. Now, at this point, from here on out, you got the Cowboys and the Eagles. That's the only 2 teams you're playing for the rest of the season. Bill has to show that consistency, especially against the Eagles. That's a really good run defense. Cowboys defense has got better since Quentin Williams has joined the team. So you want to see if Bill can kind of carry over that momentum, even if he's not the lead back. But when he gets those opportunities, if he can flash, like that's going to be important for Bill.
Yeah, I think who said it in the Moneyball said it as well that I actually agree with. I understand where you're coming from, Dre. I think my biggest thing with Bill is just knowing the ball security problem. And when people hear problem, they may say, well, he only fumbled X amount of times. It's not a high number, but he does get loose with the ball. And today he fumbled. I think early on when he was getting the bulk of the carries, like that was a concern because he fumbled, like I think in 2 consecutive games, or was it 3 consecutive games? I know it was at least 2, but I don't know if it was 3.
I think it was 2. Okay. 2. It could have been 3.
Okay.
You might be right.
Okay. Those in the chat, man, where my researchers at? Help me out. It was at least 2, but let me know if it was 3 consecutive games that he fumbled. But yeah, I'm with Moneyball. He does fumble a lot. I don't know if we're talking about a lead back. I don't think that's going to be the case with him, but he is he's an explosive splash, like slasher. And funny enough, though, one thing I get tired of, like, and you notice it quick. I think I said this with B-Rob. Who else did I say this with? I can't remember who else I say this with, but I definitely said it with B-Rob. Like, the caliber of player if they continue to not like break that run. And Bill had these moments where, like, you pop off the 20-yarder, the 30-yarder, the 40-yarder here and there. But like it's always like that slip, that ankle tackle, that something that hurts him. And that's the reason why I brought him up. Honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you. I think it was like the 4th quarter when the back was against the wall. I think Giants had a smidge of momentum. And he popped one on the left side for like 11 yards untouched until he got to the 3rd level and he slipped.
Yeah.
And he got tackled. I'm like, bruh, the only reason I think Bill slipped or even like tripped over himself is because he knew he was about to score. If he made that one dude miss, he was about to score. So like that's kind of my main thing when I think about Bill's ball security and like, yo, I need you to lock in when you get to that 3rd level. Like, be extra focused as opposed to just like knowing that you done made it past that 1st, 2nd wave. But still, all that to say, like that's like constructive criticism. He had an excellent day. Good on Bill, and good on Washington's offense. I even think like even with Josh Connolly had the rough start in the first half, like the first quarter. Well, actually, it was the first quarter. He ended up settling in too. So like that offensive line is cool. I don't know what's going on with Laramie Tunsil, but I don't think he came back in. Even still, Brandon Coleman did a solid job. So shout out to that offensive line as well. I think they went. Let me check.
Well, Mo, let me ask you about, since we're on the subject of Bill, and I'm still kind of waffling about what he can be in this league. What do you kind of see as his role as it projects out for his career? Like, do you see kind of that scat back role, or do you see that change of pace, or do you think he has some potential as maybe a lead back somewhere down the line?
Yeah, that's where I was at. I think not the lead back part, but like the spell spell running back, like that number 2 change of pace guy. I think what's going to be helpful for him is because of like his vision and his explosive ability. I think the way that you use Bill can vary. I think he's versatile, like in terms of your scheme. He can do gap and zone, in my opinion. Like that's just because of his short area quickness. Like that burst is there, and it's anybody, any offensive coordinator can use that in any system. But I don't know if he can really tote for like 20 carries a game, man. Like I said, when he had that usage early in the season, the more that your touches increase and you fumble the ball more, the more reliability you become, or liability, excuse me, that you become. So I would rather keep him at that number 2.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's what he looks like. Now, Moneyball, to your point, if we draft Love, yeah, I do agree. I mean, that's an if. I mean, it's a big if because I don't know. And Bowie, what is wrong with comparing Terry to T. Higgins? I think that's a fair comparison. T. Higgins is a hell of a wide receiver in this league. He said Dre stop calling Terry. It's probably up somewhere. I know he said Dre stop calling Terry T. Higgins. I mean, I don't think that's disrespect. I think T. Higgins is one of the better wide receivers in the league.
I'm gonna say, is T. Higgins not a number 1 receiver?
That's what I'm saying. I think he's one of the better wide receivers in the league. So comparing him
honestly,
to Terry, that's not disrespect.
And honestly, Bowie, I don't know where that came from. I ain't gonna lie to you. But honestly, Bowie, if you would have asked not Commanders fan base, that's a little biased, and take Cincinnati out of it too. If you was asked NFL fans, is Terry and T number 1 receivers? I'm pretty sure there's a consensus that both of them will be. I don't know if that's what you were saying that one wasn't, but that's kind of where I'm at. That's all. All right. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball. What is Deuce asking me? Does he look like Bates in the open field? Please tell me I'm true. Oh, he's talking about Ben Sinnott. Do we want to talk about Ben? I mean, it was one catch, but
it's gonna be a short conversation.
Okay. How about this? Like, not necessarily Ben, but the tight end role itself. I do think what's worth talking about, because who was it? Jay Tizzy. He mentioned he don't think that he thought that Noah Brown was going to do the role that Zach Ertz did. Like he was very adamant about that in the pregame show on Thursday. And while I didn't necessarily agree with that, I understood because Noah Brown had played that role, the H-back role, the move guy with Dallas 1 year. And then he did that his first year in Houston. I think Ben had himself a solid game from just being active. Like I saw him, like they ran this play that sprung Bill for like 11 yards on the left side of the ball. I mean, on the left side of the offense. And they had Ben Sinnott cross the formation on the wham block. And like his IQ to get that block and hip check the defender was just like, just what Bill needed to spring him for like 10 or 11 yards. I think that's important because like when you do lose a Zach Ertz, you got to find a way to be just as valuable when you're on the field. And the way that they use these tight ends, it wasn't just like Ben was still in his regular role. But what I noticed is John was the one that was detached for the formation. He was the one splitting like the trips. He was the one in the two, like out wide and things of that nature, as opposed to them using an extra wide receiver or even using Ben in that role. Ben was still like that H-back, or he was still in line, right? So like the way that they use these tight ends were, I don't think it was anything special, but I do think the role that Zach Ertz had, they gave the first shot to John Bates.
And I was thinking throughout the game, without Ertz, because I noticed obviously that the tight ends weren't too active or involved in the pass game until, Bates caught his one pass and then Sennett caught his later. And I was wondering, without an Ertz, does Cliff feel like he can now, he's more so forced to run the traditional run sets because he's not using the receiving tight end as much, or he doesn't trust those guys so much in the pass game. But with Sennett, I went the whole game. I wasn't really paying too much attention to what he was doing in the run game, to be honest. I do that sometimes when I rewatch it, but I was wondering, I'm like, man, when is he ever going to get involved in this offense? Like, do they ever see any kind of role for him within this pass game? And then he goes out and catches the one long pass. And it just makes you wonder what his potential is here. Because it's obviously, even though he did catch that one pass, it's kind of obvious that Cliff and them don't see a big role for him in the pass game. Otherwise, we would have seen it by now. I don't know what happens these next 3 games if they're going to give him more opportunity, but what do they see? Because I don't know if it's just the coaching staff here or what, but what is his potential here? That's what I want to know.
Even that one play though, like it was, and this isn't a discredit to Ben. I'm just acknowledging your point, Dre, and just acknowledging like his role. It was like 13 personnel, if I'm not mistaken. It was a obvious run situation, so it created a one-on-one matchup for Ben, and I think Ben did his part well, right? Like he got to the top of his route and he won, right? That's a big deal for Ben. But like the way that they created the opportunity is because of the formation, is because of the situation. So it's like if you were in a situation where it was a obvious passing down and we needed you to win this one-on-one rep, could you do it? That question still remains. But in the moment that they created for Ben, he did a great job of creating separation, and he hauled in the catch. Granted,
that's been kind of the story of his career. Even though he had very few opportunities, I think when we have seen those opportunities come his way, he's kind of made those plays. And it's like you said, it's nothing where it's like he's out there flat out in a passing situation where they're putting him in these situations and telling him to beat guys, but he won his rep. And he usually kind of wins those reps even in his short opportunities. That's why I'm still kind of like, if he has more opportunities, do we see more? Or if he has more opportunities in the pass game, will he get exposed more? We still kind of don't know that yet, but maybe these next 3 games will kind of tell us, but we do kind of start needing that answer because obviously Ertz is probably done for his career. And the question is, what's happening at tight end after the season? Because that looks like a glaring need at this point, at least when you're talking about a receiving tight end. So we'll see if he gets more opportunities, whether he gets exposed, maybe he looks a little bit better, who knows?
Hey, I'm still in that free agency pool. If you ask me, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. Find me one of them tight ends in the free agency pool, bro, and let's figure it out from there. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Oh,
AJ's
hallucinating. AJ, it sounds like Saint Wow. Hey, for those, my bad. AJ's 6, so he's viewing virtually. He's first off, see, hey, bro.
Told you need to get that shit checked out, bro. AJ need to go see a doctor.
You want the toilet and you earling, bro? That's a word. They call that something when you doing both at the same time, bro.
It's called go see a doctor.
Man said urgent care immediately.
Yes.
You low-key look like Anthony Anderson. Yeah, you
told you he hallucinating, man. I told you. Now the hallucinations started.
Hey, bro. All right. Where are we at? 23 minutes in. Okay. Special teams. Your boy, what's his name? What's that kicker name, bro?
Our kicker or the Giants kicker?
Moody. 3 for 3. Yeah. Windy day. I don't have nothing special or like spectacular to say about him, but I'm just tracking his numbers. That's it.
He missed the XP though, but that was the win.
I'm about to say I ain't even gonna lie. It's easy to tell when somebody missed the jump or when like factors helped him. I didn't even fault him for that. So a solid day for Moody. And even still, he kicked the field goal after that missed extra point, and you can see an adjustment in the way he kicked it. I can't break down the science. I'm not a field goal kicker, but like you can see like how he adjusted it to where the wind is blowing. Like, cause he kicked it, I think like far left and it swung right, or far right and it swung left. I can't remember, but you can see like he's actively aware of that situation. But Jake Moody, 3 for 3. I'm just tracking it because, by the way, that's why I brought it up. I'm just tracking it because I'm in a situation where Are they gonna find themselves a kicker and just stick with him, or are they gonna fucking look again in the offseason? That's kind of where that's all I'm saying. That's where I'm at, bro. I don't think he's special. I don't know yet, but land on something. That's it.
I think the big key with Moody, you got to see what he can do from 50 plus. Like that's been the reason why most of the guys don't stick here because they can't make that 50 plus in today's NFL when guys are making 60 yards look routine now. So I don't think we've seen him even attempt the 50 plus yet, if I'm not mistaken. I know he had a chance that first game when he was here, but Dan Quinn said he didn't want that to be his first kick in a Washington uniform with a new long snapper kicking a 57-yard field goal. But no, we haven't seen him kick those 50 plus. Now he's looked good from 40 and out, which is cool. I mean, that's fine. But until he can prove he can make those 50 plus yarders, then I still don't think you have that answer yet. Hopefully we get that answer over the next couple of weeks because we are all tired of the kicking carousal here. Like something has to change here. So I do hope we get to see that.
Tired of the what?
Transpire over the kicking carousel or carousel. What's the word? Hey, am I being like you? I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't use that word often. Carousel, is that it? Carousel.
Hey, bro, man said carousel. I said, hold on, bro.
Hey, man, that's my new word, man. I just made up a word.
Hey, bro. Oh, man.
All right, thanks for teaching me something. Look at AJ laughing. Of course, he goes.
Hey, that carousel, bro. Yeah, that's in my dictionary now, bro.
To my accent.
All right, man. Dang, that just threw me. I ain't gonna lie to you. I get what you're saying about the 50 plus. Okay, cool. Yeah. Jalen Lane, we can move on from kicker. That's enough conversation for kicker. Jalen Lane got himself another tidy 63-yard return for a touchdown. Just a reminder for him, I guess. Like, matter of fact, he actually had a record. I think this is his punt return was a franchise record that he tied with 2 punt returns and a touchdown. Like the last person who did that was actually in 1994. It was B. Mitch.
Damn.
Yeah. So he tied a franchise record. He has 3 games to break it. 3 games left to break it. So what surprised me is they just kept kicking to him. They just said, "Fuck it."
I know. Yeah, because he almost broke the first one.
Yeah, he did.
But he probably would have broke the record this year if we had a damn defense that can get off the field. We don't see many punts.
Maybe, bro. But shout out to Jalen Lane. I think if you aren't creating offensively, and I think draft status aside, if you can find a role that's actually valuable to your team, fair enough. Granted, if you draft a punt returner or a special teamer in the first round, like that's a problem. But they didn't get him first round. So got him third round. If you can prove yourself valuable, getting two punt returns and a touchdown. I mean, two punt return touchdowns in one season as a rookie. Like that just shows like you have something to work with in that situation. So I'm interested. I'm impressed and I'm happy for Jalen Lane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good to see that he's finding a way to contribute. Like we need that at least. If you ain't gonna be something on the offensive end, let's see you go out there and contribute in a way, and maybe that'll give him some confidence to start showing up on offense. I did notice today they gave him a couple of targets today. It didn't work out, but seemed like they were trying to get him involved. So maybe that'll come.
Hey, Ronnie or Sherm, I don't know if y'all keep calling me during this show, bro. We're gonna have a hey Ronnie, we're gonna have a conversation. But hey, same walk. God damn it, AJ, that's hilarious. We should do a spelling bee competition, bro. We ain't got
I will win.
Wait, not. Hey, how many spelling bees have you done in your lifetime for real?
I did one in like the 4th grade, and I was like runner up. I forgot which word stumped me, but I was runner up.
Yeah, I did. I did a couple too myself, bro. I was in elementary school too. I ain't gonna lie to you. I did pretty good. I was one of the finalists. I don't know if I won. I genuinely don't remember, but I think you would have a medal if you won, right?
I think so, something like
that. All right, so I didn't win.
Yeah.
I didn't
okay, so you were like me. All right.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a spelling bee competition one of these weeks, bro. Maybe after the Saturday game, because that's next, right? Saturday,
yeah,
Saturday.
Yeah.
So we'll probably do it after the Saturday game, do a spelling bee competition. And 4th round, thank you, PC, for the correction. Yes, I did say 3rd round. All right, defensively. Somebody already said it. What's his name? Anthony Hamilton. He had a really good day in coverage. Sanders still created a turnover. I mean, for the most part, given the people that you do have, Von Miller got himself a sack, right? I think there was some spots that were good for the day. And again, I think it's important to acknowledge, like, you know, they're playing against the New York Giants. These are two mediocre, subpar, poor teams. So I don't take too much away from it. But I think if there's one thing that you can say for San Francisco's game, a person that's going into year 3 of his rookie deal, whoever comes in as a defensive coordinator next, is not about, like, do you view him as a starter or not, right? Because he still gets beat. It's about how can I put him in the best position to create turnovers for this defense? Is there a way that I can put him on as the single high post safety on a particular game? Is there a way that I can utilize him in the slot on this particular play? Like, can I use him as a joker? Can I mean, not like the literal joker as defensive coordinators would call it, but like, can I use him on the outside, the inside? Can I use him post or strong? Like, I think there needs to be a way to just find a way to create turnovers. I mean, to have him create turnovers for your defense. Let him be your spark plug. And it's not about whether or not he gets beat or not. Like, he's decent enough in coverage, but he's also can be a liability.
Yeah. And we've seen those type of players here, but the thing is, when they show their propensity to make plays, you have to find a way to put them in those positions to make plays, because Sanders still 4 interceptions this year. I forget how many he had last year, but he's by far the best playmaker in the secondary. And that may not be saying much. That bar is kind of low, but at the same time, he still can make plays, and he's shown that. So, like you said, the next defensive coordinator can come in here and kind of say, all right, this guy, we have to put him in those type of positions. And I also think that obviously getting a pass rush, more of a pass rush, is going to help a guy like Mikey Sanders still, because he doesn't have to cover for 4 to 5 seconds on a play. You know, he gets beat regardless sometimes, but still, if he can just go out there and play without thinking too much, and he can use those instincts, because that's one of Mikey's best traits. Like, we knew that in Michigan. Like, Mikey Sanders still can diagnose plays, and he's instinctive when the ball is in the air. So you want to get him into those situations where he can go out there and make those type of plays. So it will be interesting to see whoever the defensive coordinator is next year, kind of go out there and kind of put together those game plans to get Mikey in those situations. But for me, more on that defense, I noticed Dan Quinn didn't play the kind of slow bleed defense this week. They kind of were more aggressive. I see more blitzes this week. I guess they said, well, shit, if we get beat, we get beat, but we are going to kind of go out there and dictate, because last week against Minnesota, they just kind of watched JJ McCarthy just kind of carve him up. And I think they was waiting for McCarthy to make a mistake instead of trying to make him make mistakes. This week, they kind of made Jackson Dart kind of have to go out there and make some plays, and Jackson Dart couldn't make enough plays today. And, as people mentioned in the chat, Antonio Hamilton, I thought he played a hell of a game, at least for a guy who hadn't started all year. He comes in this week, and you seen him go out there, and he was involved in a lot of plays this week. He was making stops. And Von Miller, man, I mean, he gotta have the quietest 7 sacks I've ever seen in my life. I know you've seen him do it in the games, but when you look at the end of the season, you're like, damn, Von Miller got 7 sacks. He doesn't play that many snaps.
Like 30% of the snaps.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So even when he's on the downside of this,
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't know he had 7. I thought he was at like 5.
He's at 7, and even though he's at the down end of his career, it just kind of show you that. Those Hall of Fame talents, even when they at that point in their career, they still find a way to be somewhat effective. Like, he's definitely not that guy anywhere close to that guy that used to wreak havoc, but he can still find a way to be effective for himself. So I think that was kind of cool to see that. But overall, man, I did think that Dan Quinn called a defense this week that said, man, we're going to, even if we get beat, we get beat. But for the most part, we're not going to sit up here and wait for you to make a mistake. We're going to go out here and kind of try to dictate something on defense. I mean, I thought that was at least encouraging to see. We'll see how that changes when they play against Philadelphia and the Cowboys, which will be better offenses.
Hey, I told you though, this ain't the it ain't no homer in me, bro. Just being honest with you. I told you, I said we're gonna get one of them against Philly. Now, I think that they're gonna be playing for something in both games. So let that be what it's worth. That's the only team I said that we was gonna beat too. I didn't give a fuck about the Giants. I'm just telling you, like, that's just, and honestly, at this point, I think you got a better shot of beating Philly with Mariota than you do with Jaden.
I mean, possibly. I still don't see us beating Philly though. Like, because we tried to get that damn game away today.
Bro, that's actually one of the more frustrating things. It's like not even the fact that I wanted Washington to win per se, but it's like from a taking control of a game, bro. Like how many two fourth quarter turnovers, and both of them were preventable. Come on, bro. Like wake up. But yeah, I think for Washington, I don't know what things are gonna look like against Philly, or Dallas. Like I said, I do think we get one of them. In my personal opinion, I understand what you're saying. I understand why people think that Washington doesn't win. You know, it is what it is. But like I said, that's not the homer me. It's more so just like I think that this team has something that they're trying to fight for, and maybe the injuries are too overwhelming. But you know, Philly just put up what they just blanked the Raiders, who don't have an offense whatsoever. Washington's going to be going against Philly in a situation where they actually at least got their starting receivers back in a decent run game. And Mariota, if he ain't going fucking pass the ball, he sure as shit going to run it. So I think offensively you have a chance. I wonder what's going to go on with Laramie Tunsil. I started scouring the web. I don't see anything about Tunsil just yet. So I guess
he tried to come back in and then he went back out, right? Because last I saw, he went out in the first half, then he came back in the halftime. After halftime, he came back, but I think he went back out.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say last I saw he went into the tunnel before halftime, so I didn't even notice he went back.
Yeah,
or tried to go
back in for a little bit. Oh, strained oblique.
Strained oblique. Thank you. Yeah, congratulations, Ronnie. You all beat the Raiders 31-0. Looking forward to hearing what you have to say about them, the Eagles on Tuesday, about how you all beat up on the Vegas Raiders. I was wrong. I did think the Raiders was going to whoop y'all.
You thought that?
I don't like Eagles fans, so I think everybody's going to beat them. I ain't going to lie to you. All right, let's get into one sentence takeaways. I do think who said it? Pass rush. Somebody mentioned pass rush in the chat. I'm right there with y'all. I don't think like in the moments where Washington needed it against the Giants, like the Giants did have all day to throw the ball. Like it wasn't like no pass rush really getting there in some of the bigger spots of the game. It was like some random sacks here and there. Not to say the sacks aren't important, but like from a down to down standpoint, it wasn't. I didn't see like a Jackson Dart getting pressured consistently. So I do acknowledge that. Let's close out with our one sentence takeaways, Dre.
Are we doing MVPs today?
Damn.
We didn't win. We haven't done this in like 10 weeks, I don't think.
Okay. All right. So let's do our one sentence takeaways and close out with the MVPs. Yeah, that's actually crazy. We haven't done it in like 2 months. Wait.
I forgot it was a part of the 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. One sentence takeaways. What do we got? Amani says someone had to win. Deuce. They thought naming Noah Brown captain was a good idea. He was barely able to walk out for the coin toss. Isaac. Worst win in the last decade. Beat a bad team that beat themselves and lost the war in draft capital. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't understand. Like Dre, I understand what you said early on. I understand the consensus about like draft capital and like securing a as high pick as you can. But here's where I'm at, bro. And we'll get back to one sentence takeaways. I just feel like that mattered more when your organization was terrible. Like, I don't think like this is a toxic organization or like something that where like you need you're like on a lifeline or life alert type of deal. I understand that Washington is desperate for talent. Don't get me wrong with that. But like the big deal in terms of like crying about a win here and there later in the season is something where I'm like, it doesn't bother me that much if they do get a win or two. Like, I don't think we're in the depths of despair like we were with the previous owner and previous head coaches.
Now, for me, my piece on that, I think it was more dire in those days because you needed the quarterback most. And it's kind of the further you slip out of that draft range, it's kind of harder to obtain that franchise quarterback as those guys usually go, 1 through 3, 1 through 4, whatever. So if you kind of slide it out of that range, it's not good for that look at least. But I'll say for this year, the only reason I'm kind of on Team Tank at this point, because I think it opens up the opportunity more so for a better trade down, especially if someone is desperate enough to go up for one of those quarterbacks or something. And I just think we need talent. We need a lot of it. We don't have a lot of draft picks. I mean, that's the only reason I'm kind of like, all right, well, I want to tank and I want to see these losses to jump higher up in that draft order. But otherwise, I don't think it's as dire as it was in those years when you needed the quarterback, because right now you need a lot of things and you have the quarterback. Like we still believe in the quarterback as long as Jaden can stay healthy. He can prove that. We also have an offensive line as well. Those guys typically go high as well. So right now, what you need in kind of everything, it's not as important or as big or, hurtful if you win these games. It's not like a couple of years ago when you played the Jets and you were begging to lose that game against the Jets. It's not like that at this point. But for me, again, I do think it offers a better trade down opportunity for us if that were to present itself, especially if someone gets desperate enough for those quarterbacks.
Albanian Commanders fan, DQ unable to develop young players. Lead poison, Giants tanked more. Sarah Chisman, finally a win. Sam Iron Viral, losing streak over. Yo, who is David Bailey? Oh, the dude from Texas Tech.
Wait. I don't know. Be honest with you, I have no clue who David Bailey is.
David Bailey. Yeah, David Bailey. I think that's the dude from Texas Tech. Yeah, Texas Tech. I was saying that name popped out for me. David Bailey, he is a linebacker for Texas Tech. James Souls said David Bailey. That's what he responded with. So I guess that's his guy that he wants. And I see an empty calorie win. That's from Joe TH. Let's see if we got one more. Marshall. He said 3 more weeks. We right there with you, buddy. All right, MVPs. Let's get up out of here. Who's your MVPs offensively and defensively?
Offensively, I'm gonna go with Bill today. I thought Bill, stepped up and had his best game since the Chargers game, at least. I mean, he ran with authority. He even ran with a purpose today. It was one play I seen where he dragged a couple of guys across the first down line. He was able to get a touchdown, almost 100 yards rushing. Mariota may have been in contention for the MVP, but that daggone fumble was so egregious. I can't give him the MVP. Well, at least on that side of the ball. Defensively, I'm gonna go with Antonio Hamilton, just because he's the underdog, and that guy was making so many plays today, and no one even knew who he was before today's game. And he actually saved what was it on that last drive for the Giants? He saved the play and kept this game extended. He also broke up a potential touchdown in this game. So you could be potentially talking about a Washington loss on this show right now if Antonio Hamilton doesn't make a couple of those plays. So that could be my defensive MVP.
Bro, I started laughing when you said Antonio Hamilton because I was like, bro, for the last 3 hours, I've been calling this man Anthony Hamilton.
Just sing it.
Oh, like, bro, are you serious, bro? His name's Antonio Hamilton. Let me see. Did I put that in my notes? I could have sworn I said Anthony Hamilton in my notes too. This would be hilarious if I did that. Yep. Anthony Hamilton, great game.
Thankfully, you didn't say it on the show.
Yeah, I actually thought I did earlier, but I just said I guess I just said Hamilton. That's hilarious. Okay. Offensively, I'm gonna go with Bill fumbled and Mariota fumbled, so I'm gonna go with Terry. I think Terry had himself a solid day. The 56-yard touchdown, like basically capped it all for us. That was really that's where all his yardage came from, honestly. So at the end of the day, it was a big play. It made up 90% of his yards, but still, at the end of the day, you get in the end zone, you extend the lead. You had yourself a good day, buddy. So Terry McLaurin, offensively, defensively, I'm with you on Hamilton. But in the fact that you did give him an MVP, I'm gonna go with Sanders still. I think Sanders Steele's just playmaking ability for it to show itself. Honestly, you don't have to have a turnover every week. So for it to show itself consistently throughout a season, you know what you got there. And I think that's a big deal for Washington. So like I said, moving forward, in terms of 2026 moving forward, the new coordinator is just going to have to find a way to put him in position to make plays as opposed to worrying about exactly the position that he plays. Like, just find ways to put him in position. So I'm going to go with Mike Sanders still defensively. And I'm going to give an honorable mention to Jalen Lane because the game doesn't break open if it wasn't for Jalen Lane initially. So Jalen Lane, you get an honorable mention for your special teams touchdown. Salute to you. And let's see if you can break the record. If there's anything to focus on for the last 3 games, let's see if we can be on record watch. See if we get another punt return touchdown within the last 3 games for Jalen Lane. All right, Dre. Back to our games. I ain't gonna lie to you. Before we started, I did not have enough time to put in anything for the Packers game, which is unfortunate. So I'm gonna see if I can catch a live line. Hopefully, Denver scores a touchdown so I can.
What's the score? Am I looking good in the Packers game?
It's 6-0. Packers up. So I'm hoping that Denver at least scores a touchdown so I can bet the Packers. Because I know that line going to drop.
Yeah.
I'm with the Packers. So and then Seattle, Indy. Colts doing their thing, and I fucked up too. I didn't put nothing on that. I guess this whole time I was talking to you, I was over here focusing on the show. I was only able to put in something for Detroit. So I'm okay. But yeah, Indy's tied 3-3 with the ball, and Seattle's oh lord. Yeah,
the Rams. Just seen that.
Nah, I'm looking at Phillip Rivers, John. You gonna see it? Oh, you want red zone?
Yeah, I'm on red zone.
Perfect. I want. All right, we getting off after I see your reaction with Phillip Rivers. His old ass. I know it's
I just
coming up.
saw him run something. He did a little run, but it was like 5 yards.
No.
Okay. Yeah, red zone about to, I guess, pop it up.
All right, here we go.
I don't know. It's still not on yet. They on this Packers and Broncos, and they just showing Packers and Broncos right now. Oh shit, Broncos got a touchdown ball. You can put it in. Oh,
so yeah, you already missed. Yeah. Phillip Rivers fell in the pocket. He fell in the pocket. He tried to get up and get a yard. Hey, bro, it's gonna be on the internet. All right, that's it for us. That's it for us. Hey, so look, we may have a special. We will have 2 shows this week. But we may have a special time for one of them. We're expecting a guest on this week. We will see. But the guest will be worth it. Good quality content interview covering several things, draft and NFL. So just be on the lookout for our schedule. I'll keep you posted. Follow me on Twitter at LetMaul that's where you'll find information. But regular schedule. We'll see you back on Tuesday. Peace. We about almost left without the. We about here, man. Peace.
Chop it down. Chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Down, set, watch him throw the ball. We gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through 4th and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Dive.